Inter Miami have lost again, this time 2-1 at home against Toronto FC, a team sitting near the top of the Eastern Conference. And honestly, the score makes this performance look way closer than it actually was because Miami were slow and very predictable, defensively fragile, and once again, completely dependent on Messi to rescue them. And Messi eventually scored around minute 82, but then Toronto had already punished Miami twice and in 3 minutes, and it should have been more. It probably should have been three or four. So this is five consecutive matches without a victory for Miami. Four defeats in those five matches, three in a row in the league, and it's not anymore. It's not a surprise anymore that we have one another disappointing night. We're going through a bit of a crisis right now. But welcome back to the Maxi Canalla show. Today we need to talk about Inter Miami's 2-1 defeat against Toronto FC and another performance that was simply not good. Inter Miami started with Dane St. Clair in goal, Ian Frey, Lujan, Falcon, and Sergio Reguilon in the defense, Casemiro, De Paul, and Telasco Segovia in midfield with Messi, Luis Suarez, and Berterame up top. On paper, good team, good lineup. Berterame is back. It's really, really good that Berterame is back. Um, he was dangerous in some moments, but he didn't have that same. He's missing rhythm. Obviously, he hasn't been playing, so he's missing that. Uh, so it's his first appearance since the injury, but there wasn't enough quality in the lineup to control the game, which is insane. Create chances, we had some, um, but once again, the names were much more impressive than the actual football. In the first half, we ended 0-0, but Miami did have opportunities. Berterame, like I said, he had some shots blocked. He missed a couple ones, but he was getting on the end of it. He was anticipating crosses, which was nice. Suarez then had a big chance at minute 19 after a through ball from De Paul, and he put it wide. What a miss from Suarez! What a miss from Suarez! I could leave that to Beterrame or any other player except Messi and Suarez. Suarez, how do you miss that? Man, he basically had a penalty in motion. Basically had a penalty in motion and he put it wide. De Paul probably was the best player on the pitch. De Paul had an incredible game. Casemiro also forced the keeper to save a header later in the half, and Miami had possession and created some chances, reached dangerous areas, but the football was too slow and predictable, which is a running theme with Inter Miami. And there were too many players waiting to receive the ball on their feet. I think this is always a problem with Miami sometimes. Instead of constantly moving around, uh, but once again, the ball reached the final third, and Miami struggled to create anything clean. This team has an unbelievable amount of quality, but too often the entire attack, the plan becomes find Messi and wait for him to put a brilliant pass or goal, create a goal from nothing, and we saw that again in this match. Uh, but Inter Miami can't expect Messi at 39 to organize the build up, create the chances, and finish them by himself every single week. The players around them have to move, they have to make runs, they have to take responsibility. Suarez had that chance in the first half, but he had a struggling game as well. And at this stage of his career, with the lack of mobility he has, it's difficult. It's difficult for sure. And Toronto remained compact. Watch Messi receive the ball. Messi also can't take two, three players by himself anymore. He's 39, so they wait him to receive the ball and then close him down real quick because he doesn't have that burst of speed off the control anymore. And we hadn't played particularly well, but they hadn't either in the first half. And then just right off the bat in minute 59, Josh Sargent gave Toronto the lead from almost nothing. He just received the ball almost at the edge of the box and curled it into the bottom right of the goal. And St. Clair couldn't see the ball, so he reacted late and never got to it. But before we could even react, again, only 3 minutes later, Derek Etienne attacked the right and beat St. Clair from a difficult angle. Suddenly, it was 2-0. So that just summarizes everything wrong with Inter Miami defensively. One moment changes the game. The team loses all its composure, and almost immediately another mistake follows, and the defensive structure disappears. It's like everybody's disorganized and lost focus, and the distance between the players become way too large when the midfield doesn't protect the back line properly, and the defenders are forced to deal with attackers running directly at them, and having three players up top that can't run back. It becomes an issue for Miami to handle all of that, especially when you get shocked and hit by a goal. The Miami defense seems to shut down for some reason. But again, Toronto didn't dominate the match. They just had they were very clinical on taking advantage of Miami's mistakes, and that's what a competent team does. Now, Inter Miami plays a different game, but we couldn't create too many chances. That's the issue. By the end of the game, it was just uh, launching crosses, really. And to be honest, Inter Miami is doing this every game. It doesn't matter whether it's Monterrey or Lyon or Toronto. You know, every team appears capable of creating chances against this defense. It seems like we just open up and shut down and lose confidence and control and too many spaces. And when the attack isn't producing three or four goals, Miami like have no margin of error, and we have. Well, it seems like we're always gonna leak goals, so we have to score more than we leak. And sometimes the attack isn't. Sometimes the attack isn't that well off. Messi, Suarez, and Berterame all have their own issues and aren't at their best yet. And Casemiro again is having a bad performances. To be honest, Casemiro was brought in to give Miami this midfield control, experience, and good defensive security, and he still can't win duels, give good passes. He can read the game, but him by himself having a really tough time. Uh, but anyway, after missing two goals, after falling behind by two goals, Miami finally started playing with a bit more urgency, and that's when we started throwing in crosses. Ian Frey had a chance from very close range after a corner. Changes were made in 73rd minute. David Ashala, Pinted, and Delinoy replacing Casemiro, Segovia, and Suarez came on. But once again, none of that would come to fruition because we need the magician and the best player on the field to get together to score a goal. In minute 82, DePaul played a beautiful line breaking pass through ball to break through Toronto's defense. Messi timed his movement really nicely, uh, got it to the end of the ball, and curled it around the keeper and put it into the bottom right of the goal. Beautiful goal, really nice. It was an excellent goal. That connection between the Paul and Messi is classic, and that's probably one of the only good things that ever happened in Miami tonight. The Paul has 9 assists now in the regular season, while this was Messi's 14th goal. But the goal arrived way too late, minute 82. So Miami had more than 15 minutes, including the 8 added minutes, to find an equalizer. But there was no great final chances, clear chances. Ashala took a shot, basically just passed it to the keeper. And this defeat was difficult to excuse. Toronto, I think this is the first time they have ever won in Miami. Um, but Inter Miami is too weak. They are too weak and should not be losing this match at home. Not with the squad, not with Messi, De Paul, Casemiro, Suarez, and Berterame all starting. And it's the same problems over and over again. The attack is too dependent on Messi, too lazy in defense, collapses during transitions. And it seems like when we concede one goal, we're going to leak another, third, or fourth. Fourth defeat in 5 matches, third in the league. This squad has to change something, and I think the manager has to decide what type of team this is supposed to be. Ojos is ultimately responsible for it. Inter Miami has the players. They just need a good structure and a functioning team. Maybe we need to change the defense a bit up. Um, but let me know what your opinions are in the comments. What's the biggest problem right now? The the manager, the aging squad, the defensive structure. Just let me know what you think about it in the comments. The final score from Miami Inter Miami 1, Toronto 2. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like and consider subscribing if you enjoyed the content. Thank you for watching and supporting the channel. Subscribe for more Inter Miami, Rosario Central, Argentina, and world football coverage. Aguante Central, aguante Argentina, and aguante USA. Thank you, boys.